I am a mompreneur. I have my own business. I also am a W-2 employee, so I also work part-time. And I have two kids. I'm raising two kids and running a household with my husband. We do it together. But the thing I've been learning the most is to really practice acceptance of the present moment. And as moms, I know it's so hard because you're always thinking about like the next thing to do. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm very like recovering perfectionist type A, got my to-do list, love to check the boxes off. I'm still like that. But I realized when you have kids, you can't control them.
Welcome to Radiant Mom Rising. Get ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, and in each episode, we dive into amazing stories, insights, and conversations that help moms like you chase your dreams and embrace your worth. Let's rise and shine together. Welcome back. I wanted to share with you an amazing recent trip we just took to my husband's house where he grew up in Laurel Fork, Virginia. This house is on top of a mountain. The view is absolutely astounding, and there's all this land. And we actually, we went with our kids, my mom, and even our dogs. We were a little nervous about our dogs because they've never been outside of a fenced-in backyard. And we didn't know if they'd run off, but they stayed really well. They had their moments where they kind of ran off, but overall, they stayed with us. It was a beautiful experience. Playing in the splash pad, doing fireworks with the kids, running around, playing badminton, playing board games with our older son. Just truly living. No worries, no busy life like we normally have. Just getting away and really embracing the present moment. It really gives you perspective, especially for my husband, who is now seeing his children playing in the playroom that he grew up playing in as a child and running around. It's one of those things that just makes you think how quickly life really does pass us by and how much we should be embracing any moment we can. We have such abundance in our life just by having the families that we have, the moments, these memories that we get to make with them. And it's so easy to get caught up in our day-to-day busy life with work to just take that for granted. So it was really nice to get that opportunity. So if you're listening and you're in a place where you can do that, embrace it, enjoy it. And I hope you get that. So this episode today is a good friend of mine's, Jocelyn. I love her. I'm so glad we met and crossed paths. She is a wonderful, beautiful soul. This is one of the first conversations we ever had when we first met. I know you're going to enjoy it. She is a certified life and mental health coach for working moms. She's also an associate certified coach with International Coaching Federation. She's been coaching for the last 5 years and has experience in instructional coaching, life coaching, and mental health coaching. She's also a mom of two girls, ages 11 and a half and 10. And we always have a good time, good laughs, and our conversations are so powerful in the message. So without any further ado, Miss Jocelyn Auyeung.
Hey, Jocelyn, thank you so much for being part of the show today. I'm so excited to have you on here. Please introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit about you and what you do.
Thank you, Mary, for having me on the show. I'm so excited for our conversation today. I'm Jocelyn Auyeung, and I am a certified life and mental health coach for working moms. So I help career-driven moms manage their responsibility with confidence and satisfaction so that you can stop feeling overwhelmed and stressed. So my goal is to help you really live a satisfying life and just be present with your kids and just love your life as a working mom.
I love it. And it's so wonderful to meet women in similar fields and just know that we are on this amazing path ourselves, that we've found this way to establish it for ourselves, which is why we want to give back. So tell us a little bit about your journey and what's that been like as a mom and becoming an entrepreneur and what you've been through.
Oh my God, great question. Yeah, let's keep it short. I know what I can tell you all.
Yeah, let's do. Right. Don't we have them all?
Yes, we have. Yeah, it's been, a journey. I'll start off with, me and my husband struggled with infertility for like 6 years, and we went through IVF. I really wanted to be a mom because I love being with kids. My second career was in education as a classroom teacher. And I always just knew that I wanted to have my own kids. And so I became a mom, and that journey of through infertility and IVF and then a miscarriage, it was just like, whoo, kind of like talk about walk through the fire. You just got to walk through that. And that's where I really learned about resiliency and honoring my own mental health in that stage. I never grew up knowing about mental health in my culture as an American born Chinese. And so I really learned in that infertility IVF process of having my first daughter of how to like really, take care of myself. Like that was the first time like self-care, because I remember the day that I got the news that I had miscarried the first time when we did our IVF, that I was slated to go into work and teach a group of second graders in my classroom. And I had to say no. And that was really hard. That was the first time I felt really like mom guilt, even though I didn't have my own physical child yet. But that was the guilt of like, oh my gosh, I cannot emotionally stand up in front of 24 kids right now and teach when I just miscarried, And so anyways, long story short, that's how I started out as my journey as a mom. Fast forward to right now, I am a mompreneur. I have my own business. I also am a W-2 employee. So I also work part-time, and I have 2 kids. I'm raising 2 kids and running a household with my husband. We do it together. But the thing I've been learning the most is to really practice acceptance of the present moment. And as moms, I know it's so hard because you're always thinking about like the next thing to do. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm very like recovering perfectionist type A, got my to-do list, love to check the boxes off. I'm still like that. But I realize when you have kids, you can't control them. Like I have a preteen, and sometimes pick her up and she's in a mood, and I got a lot of time to like have a chat with her and process her day out, when actually I'm like, what am I going to make for dinner?
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where I'm learning to just like try to be in the present moment. And yes, in those moments, I still feel guilt because I feel guilty of like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting through my list, or dinner's going to be late, or like my floor hasn't been clean for a month. Like I should be utilizing this time. But what's most important is like being here for my kid. Or even sometimes it's like, what's most important is I need to focus on my business. I need to focus on my clients.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the thing, is like just accepting the present moment as a mom and just thinking what's important in this moment. And like right now, what's important in this moment is having this conversation with Mary.
Yeah, there you go.
And being really, really like present in the moment. And that's really about like really enjoying life, right? And so that's like the biggest thing like I have been learning and continually to learn as a working mama, because I choose to be a working mama. There have been times where I had to be a working mom because my husband has gotten laid off several times. But like I continue to choose to be a working mom because I love contributing in a different way outside of the home. But it does come with its challenges, and it does come with its like, yay, benefits too, because I do my own thing. But it's a real continual practice of like, okay, focus on this present moment. What's important right now, right?
Yes.
The to-do list, like I can put it to the side. It's okay. It doesn't all need to get done all in this day,
All
right?
at once. Yeah. Like
all at
once.
once.
Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen.
It isn't going to happen.
And you accept that, the better I can be.
Really accept that, because if I don't accept it, I'm just creating more suffering for myself and more stress and overwhelm. And that's been a really, really hard lesson for me as a working mom, and especially, as an entrepreneur, because there are so many things that you want to do. And so many are like, I just want to hit this milestone in my business and, bring in more clients, and I need to do this. And yeah, it's just be in the present moment, and it's okay to go your own slow and steady pace. Like,
Yes. Yeah. I think, and I love that. It feels like this message is getting out there more and more, because, there is these expectations that we put on ourselves when it comes to our businesses, when it comes to our children, and how we wish that things would go. And that was my greatest lesson is, and I had boyfriends, I remember in the past that would always tell me this, Mary, if you would stop putting these expectations on like how things should go, you wouldn't get so butthurt or upset when things don't happen the way you did. And I would. And I never really stopped and looked at myself and realized that I was like that. And it was like my need to kind of control it all and just for things to be my way. And I'm like, that's no way to be. And then it's like, instead of embracing an evening going different, but it could have still been amazing, I would ruin it by that energy, by that being disappointed. And we don't realize how much that shows up in every aspect of whether it's our businesses, our kids, our with our spouses, all of our stuff. And I think it is important that we're getting more and more of that message out there that it's okay for things to happen on a different timeline for you. That's the whole point, is that we all have our unique path. And what happens for somebody here may not happen for you until a little bit further down. And that's okay, because when it happens, do you ever notice how things really do happen exactly when they're really meant to? Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever look back and be like, oh my gosh, wow, I wanted this to happen like this, and that, but it didn't. But I'm so glad it didn't, because it just really did manage to happen at the right time when I was really ready for it. And I think, so you feel
100%. Oh my God. Like preach, like 100%. It's just like,
And that's what we're learning, is that, this is all about us embracing the journey, enjoying the now, living moment to moment while we walk that path towards that long-term vision. Like keeping that vision as like, that's where we're going to go. We always address that. We always see that. But at the same time, we also, don't just stay there. Come back and figure out, what's one little step I can do today towards this, or, and how can I enjoy my family more? I know that one of the feedbacks with my husband was, when I started my business, is being so busy on the phone all the time, on doing this and that. And so I had to get to a point where it's like, okay, I need to respect that, the way I want my business to go is not taken away from my family time. So I decided to be more disciplined with that, and just, certain times of the evenings or weekends, phone goes away, things like that.
Yeah. That really reminds me of something. I'm a huge values person. And this is like the work that I really love doing myself, but also with, my clients that I work with, is really like when I'm trying to make a decision or trying to like figure out what action to take, it's always like, how is this aligned with my values? And right now, like my values are about like joy, adventure, love, or service, learning, love, and connection. And so at any moment, like, is this aligning with my values? So like, if I'm like, okay, if I'm on, social media, am I connecting? Am I learning? And am I serving? No, I'm just doom scrolling, really. Like that's not aligned with my values. So let's be real. Hey, as a working mama, when I'm in the pickup line, I'm just waiting for my kids to come out. It's very easy to do that, right? And so like, but I find that I need those moments to like be emotionally grounded, ready for my kids when they walk in that, get in the car, because I don't know what state they're in, right? And so it's like, being able to take actions, not just as a mom, but like as an entrepreneur, like how do I take actions in alignment with my values? And that way it helps me like release the control and also the expectation of myself, right? Because it's like, okay, this is okay. It's still aligned with my values. And this is just a tiny step that aligns with my values. And I'm good. And we'll still get there. Like hold the vision, but not hold the vision so tightly. Like
Exactly. Some people get so caught up in that it leads to burnout. It leads to being disappointed or overwhelmed when things aren't happening as quickly as they want it to. Because that's why I say, of course, always envision it. Always envision everything that you're looking for, but don't stay there. Just know that that's where you're going, and then figure out what's my next move. What do I got to do? And this is why I feel like coaching is such a powerful, tool. It's a great service, because it's hard to do this on your own. Like I would not be here without coaching. Like I need that accountability. I need someone to help me. Like when I'm having those like, I'm ready to just throw in the towel. Like this, just having one of those off days. It's so nice to have that person be like, no, what you're doing is so incredible. You're on the right path. This is going to work. Reframe that. let's redo this and let's start over and let's just keep going kind of thing. So there's
Yeah.
so many aspects of it, of the questions that you get asked that helps to open up so many answers for you.
Oh my
And
gosh.
just having that
Totally.
space for somebody as well. So, what led you on your journey through everything you went through? What made you decide that you wanted to end up coaching people from teaching?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's great. So everyone remembers we went through a pandemic, right? So
Yes.
I was an educator through the pandemic. So you've probably all have read lots of news, about educators through the pandemic. It was hard. It was hard. At that time, I was an instructional coach. So for the teachers at my school site, and I was coaching them on how to be their teaching practice, how to be a better teacher instructionally. But when the pandemic hit, it totally shifted to we we just needed someone to support us with our well-being, and so that we could teach our students, right, and be there for our students. But someone needed to be there for the teachers, and that's how I got into life coaching, because I was seeking, like, I didn't have the skills as an instructional coach to support my teachers with their mental well-being at that time, which is what was really needed, right? And so that's how I landed into life coaching. And that's where actually my first business started is life coaching, mental wellness with educators through 2020, 2021. And I'm going to be real here. I was also in the profession at the same time. And at the end of 2021, most schools were back in person. That was such a huge transition. I burned out myself as a coach. And I realized that I needed myself, my own coach,
Yeah.
my own coach,
Coach,
right?
yeah.
And so 2022 was a year that I took care of myself, got myself my own coach, and, prioritized my self-care. That was my boundary. I had to close and shut down that business, and took a whole year for myself. Now I'm going to put in air quotes, I've retired from education, because I'm going all into my own coaching business, because it has transformed my life. Literally, it has transformed my life. It's transformed my whole family, because I'm showing up differently as a person, as a mom. And that's why my current line of work in coaching is with working moms, because I've seen how much it has impacted me, but also the clients I used to work with were not only teachers, they were also working moms. And it shifted their way of showing up in their lives and their relationships with their spouses, with their kids, but also in their work. And that was huge. And so that's why I'm such a huge fan. I know you are too, Mary, of
Yes.
coaching,
Mm.
because it helps us see it helps us see something that we don't see in ourselves.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing for me is I realized I'm going to say it, shoulding all over myself, like the
Oh,
should
yes.
statements.
Yes.
As a mom and as a working mom, I did that so much. And there was so much like programmed beliefs in me that was like really harming me. I didn't realize it until I worked with a coach to help me, like you said earlier, reframe my limiting beliefs, reframe my thoughts, reframe how I talk to myself,
Yes. That was
because that was a big one. I was like, right?
yes.
And the should stuff is a huge one. I still find myself shoulding on, like, I should be at this place in my business. I should be this kind of mom, right? I should be, right now finding all the summer activities for my kids. Come on, people. It
I
is
know.
February, right? Like, if you want to do that, great. But I choose
Yeah.
not to do that. Like,
Mhm.
I don't need to play into that cultural or societal shoulds of like,
Yeah.
okay, it's March. Everyone start thinking about, slotting your stuff for your kids in the summer. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You're gonna start, right? So those are the things, the shoulds that I still work through and wrestle with, and still work through with my own coach to do that. Like even as a coach, I have my own life coach.
Honestly, if you really look at all the most successful people in the world, they all had coaches. Bill Clinton had a coach. I mean, Tony Robbins, look at that. He helps him. I
Yes.
mean, everybody has to have a coach because, like I said, it's like if you really look at this, in the way it's a team effort. Like all of our successes come together, and people need to realize that it's all about coming together and helping each other to grow. And that's the whole point of every bit of this. I mean, I'm the same way. I still need that coach to help me, to help catch myself and the things that I'm, because, think about it, when you've been doing something for so many years, like unconsciously aware that you're doing it, even though you become aware of it, doesn't mean you're going to just be able to fix it in a week or change that completely in a week. It takes consistency. It takes a lot of changes. And it honestly, life is always an ongoing process. Everything's an ongoing process. It's all about learning and growing all the time. But you do get better and better. It does get easier and easier in so many different ways and in so many different things as well. And that's what it's all about. And I love it because this has been the best decision I ever made for myself. I never would have seen myself sitting here with you right now, having this conversation, doing this podcast, if you had asked me this like 3 years ago. I'm like, yeah,
100%.
Never, like, no 100%. Way did I see. I mean, I dreamed of like different things, but I never actually thought I'd take the steps to do something about it.
Yeah.
And that is what coaching has done for me as well. It gave me that belief in myself. It taught me that self-love. And I mean, why wouldn't you want to turn around and help others to know that too? Because there's so many people out there. It blows my mind. So many moms out there who have no idea, who are so hard on themselves. They're so mean to themselves. They are so lost. They've lost who they are. They just let life pass them by all the time. I see it all the time. People staying in unhappy marriages, people who are just letting life pass by without really stepping into who they're meant to be. And it breaks my heart.
Hey there, aspiring entrepreneurs. Ready to turn your free time into a flourishing digital marketing business? Introducing Lipo Max, your comprehensive all-in-one package for launching a successful venture. With Lipo Max, you'll get access to over 200 in-depth, beginner-friendly training videos tailored to your needs. Plus, enjoy lifetime access with continuous course updates, weekly training calls, and ongoing community support. All without any monthly fees or extra charges. And the best part? You'll benefit from a high-demand digital product, the course, expertly crafted and ready for immediate sale. Yes, that means you earn 100% profit on every sale. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to transform your free time into a profitable business. Join Lipo Max today and watch your dreams take flight. Click on the link in the show note today to learn more.
I feel like it's a disservice for us to not be out here spreading this message and having these conversations. And I love how real you're being. I love how vulnerable you're being, because you do see so many of these coaches who, show that they've got it all together. These moms who, and trust me, it's not like they're not working towards it. They don't, to a point. But sometimes it's nice to see that, we're just normal people, normal, everyday people who are still making things happen. We're still taking those steps, and we're also just your everyday moms. So if we can do it, so can you.
Yes.
If we can just start from this, like, not knowing a thing about anything, getting these successful, businesses rolling, then come on, so can you. And
so
Lord,
can you.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Choose you. It's not like, I hear this a lot. I'm sure you hear this a lot too, Mary. Like, oh, it's so selfish to choose me. I'm like, no. Let's reframe that. And I'm going to, my friend, coaching colleague, Grace B, said this. She's like, no, it's self-leadership. You're leading yourself, right? And there is so much, the thing that I have also learned is, like, man, recognizing a lot of the programming and conditioning from whether it's society, cultural, gender, whatever, right? Role, like, there's just so much that we have unconsciously, no fault of our own. It's just unconsciously from our life experiences, how we grew up, that have, like, we've taken on. But man, we are at a point where you get to, like, take a step back and look like, whoa, do I want it? Like, does that work for me anymore? No, right? Like you get to choose, and you get to choose you. Like, literally, you get to choose you.
Yeah.
It's called self-leadership.
Absolutely.
Right?
I love it. Yeah. That's wonderful. And you're right. I mean, the more and more you gain that power back, you really take back your life. I mean, how nice is it to be able to show up and just not have to worry about what anyone else thinks? You just get to be you. You get to be you, and you get to love it, and you get to own it, and no apologies.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Unapologetically.
Yes. Love it.
I'm gonna say this, okay? Because like when I'm being real here, everyone.
I love it.
Because when I started showing up just being authentically me, right? And just super authentically me, you're gonna ruffle some feathers. No doubt about it. And this is the biggest lesson. I'm actually in this lesson right now as my coach is helping me push me through. It's not about, it's that when you ruffle someone's feather and they're like not agreeing with you, or they're like, whoa, you're coming off strong. That's not about you. It's about them.
Mm-hmm. It's a projection.
It's a projection. And yes, it's hard to receive, hard to experience it, but you don't have to receive it. You can just say, oh, thanks. And, I don't need to take that on. But it's like, it takes courage, but choose you to be courageous and show up as your authentic self because you deserve it. Like,
absolutely.
You deserve it.
Yes.
You deserve it. Right. And who cares if you ruffle feathers? Because I know you're doing that with an integrity, with an alignment with your values. And that's all that matters.
Yes.
And if they get pissed off, that's them. That's them. Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of times, that projection when people are dissing or being rude or whatever, it's just because they probably wish they had the guts to do what you're doing. I mean, really, that's a big projection that I've learned is that they wish that they could do and be brave enough to do what you're doing, but they want to bring you down. That's what bullies do. I mean, that's what they do. They feel so bad about themselves that they have to make you feel bad about yourself in order to maybe feel better, even though really it doesn't work. It just keeps them in this dark place. So that's why, do it even so, because I know the same thing with me. I know a lot of people who probably would be like, man, she's got too much energy for me or whatever, because I am a high energy person. I'm very bubbly. It's just who I am. And I used to feel like I had to kind of be reserved and watch myself. But it's like, now I'm like, no, I am who I am. And I'm just going to be. And if I'm not right for somebody, that's okay, because there's so many other women out there that will be right for you. And all I can hope for is that you go get the help you need so that you live a life that you deserve. Like, stop with the meanness, stop with the hating, love. Like, that is what I hope to spread, the positivity. I'm so over all the competitiveness and the judgmentalness and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it's okay. Like, if someone's not right for me, I'd rather not have them in my space, honestly. Like, it's okay. You go find your people.
Yeah, but really, like, I really want you to find the space that is for you. Bless and release. I bless you and release with love, honestly.
Yes.
Like,
oh, yes. Exactly. And I love that you are learning that for yourself and helping, because you realize too, as a coach, what I love is, like, with our own experiences, everything that we're learning, that we're being taught by our coaches, by the programs that we invest in, every bit that you do, it's all leading to help you more and more improve on yourself so that you can turn around and provide even more value to the people you work with or to the businesses that you create. So that's what's so neat about this and being real about it, because this is all helping you to grow and have something to give back. And when you help those clients, now you have that personal experience, so I can be empathetic with it, because I've been there. I know what it's like, and I also know that you can change it.
Yes.
That you can get above it, Yeah, that's what that is. What I said. Oh, I'm so excited for you. And you, when we talked to you, had mentioned you do podcasting, right?
Yes. I do.
Yeah, I love it.
Mary.
Yes, I love your podcast. Tell us a little bit about that experience and about it.
Yeah. So I am the host of the Empowered Working Mom Revolution podcast, and I specifically named it Empowered Working Mom Revolution because I am on a mission to revolutionize, like, how we perceive ourselves as working moms and how to show society how we can be as working moms, because we are not overwhelmed, stressed out working moms. Okay, let's cut that out. Like, we can be empowered here, and we have choice to do that. So that is my podcast. It is actually the second name of the podcast. When I first started it off, it was really a passion project out of curiosity, and also an exercise for me, as we were talking about, like, showing up as authentically ourselves and having the courage. Like, I started off as Jamming with Jocelyn. That was when I first launched it, like, a year ago, the first season. And it was just practice for me to like, how do I show up with my voice? Because I grew up in a culture where as an Asian woman, our voices are not valued or valid. And we were meant to be, quiet and not speak up. And I was like, I'm tired of this. After 40 years, I'm done. No, I got a lot to say, everyone. Have I ruffled my father's feathers? Yes. And I worked through that. I worked through that limiting belief because all honesty, everyone, it took me a year to work through that in order to start producing the podcast.
Wow.
Because if I was going to show up here, I needed to show up really grounded in my authentic, courageous self. And the one thing that was holding me back was the fear of what my father was going to say.
Wow.
Right?
And you know what? Kudos to you for allowing yourself that year to do exactly that, because so many people would just have given up or had, felt bad and been hard on themselves for even lasting a year. And that's, to me, I think that's wonderful because that is choosing you. You took the time that you needed to overcome something. And it really didn't matter the amount of time, but I'm glad that you respected that time. And then you did it anyways, right? That's what it's about. I love it. So yeah, good for you. And I think that's awesome. Everything you're doing, it's such a cool journey. And you have so much more to offer and you're going to learn so much. And I love that you also brought up about how you changed the name. And for anyone out there as moms who are, in the beginning stages as an entrepreneur, let me tell you, that's going to happen a lot for you because as you go through this process, you're going to start off with one thing or one area of a niche or whatever you're about. But the more you learn, the more you put out there, it's going to shift and change. And you know what? That's actually quite awesome. And it is very much okay. It is okay to rebrand and to change things up when you feel like, okay, I've tried this, it's been okay, but now I feel like I'm really enjoying this part of the business and I want to focus this way. And there is nothing wrong with that. So I think that's a great message out there as well to share for anybody who's considering being an entrepreneur or maybe even in that position of like feeling like, oh my God, is it okay to change after all this time? Or yes, it is.
Come on, people. I relaunched my business a second time. All right. So like if anyone it's okay. Like I used to think, what would people think? Okay. I'm just going to say it. No one's paying attention. I'm not saying that out of like, but it really is. It's like, you do you. It's okay. People actually don't remember. Right. And you just do what feels best for you and align for you.
Yes.
And it's okay. There's no rule book or like a guidebook to any of this, to life, actually, or to be a mom.
I know, right?
Like, is there a guidebook? I'm like, if you found one, please let me know because I haven't found it.
Oh yeah, girl, we are meant to learn that as we go. I mean, it really is, and that's a point of that right there. It's like, there is no rules that says you can't change. And you know why that is that people don't pay attention or don't care about that because they don't come and pay you for the name of your program or the things. They come there for the experience. They come there for themselves. They're coming there for them. So as long as you're providing that value in what you're offering, that's what they're showing up for is them and for the solution that you're providing them. So it doesn't matter the fancy names or the fancy emails and all the things that happen. I mean, that's great and all. And that's things that you can learn along the way, but it really is all about what you're bringing to the table. And that's
you're serving them.
Exactly. It's you that they're here for. And because I know for me, that's what made me fall in love with my mentor, Kathy Heller, is because I love her. Yes. She just, when I saw her, I was like, oh my God, she's like a version of me that where has she been all my life? I felt like she's awesome. She helped me to feel good about being the high energy person that I am and just being more me. And she's been the most amazing person to follow. And that's what I always encourage people. Go out there, find the mentors, find people that just light you up. And just follow them, learn from them, grow with them. People are always having different ways of presenting their stuff. And there's all sorts of freebies out there. But at the same time, I do always encourage you to invest in yourself because there's something about doing that keeps you really accountable. And just, and also is a way of like declaring that I am choosing me. I'm going to make this happen for me because I'm doing this. I'm committing to this. And so that's really important as well with this journey. And there's no shame in that. You always are going to learn something, good or bad. You're going to learn something. And that's so crucial to this journey. Because Lord knows I've done that. I've invested in programs that I thought was going to be one way and they were not at all what I thought it was. And I don't care, because then it's like I still learned a little bit of what I don't want to do, and that's still worth that effort and that time. And I still learned of some kind of value one way or another, you
Yeah,
know?
I love what you just said, because it's like you free yourself from like the shame or even like the guilt of like, oh man, I didn't choose the right program or I didn't choose the right person. You still are not the same person than when you first started, right? You're always evolving. You're always evolving, whether you know it or not, or whether you're choosing or
Yeah.
not. You're always evolving, but how cool is it when you get to actually have agency over that? Like you actually have autonomy over that. You actually are choosing like, how do I want to evolve? Like,
Yeah.
how do I want to invest in myself? Because I have invested in some programs that are like, ooh, that's not what I expected, but I did still get something out of it. Like I'm a different person, and
Oh, yeah.
choose what works for you. Like go follow the people. I mean, I do a lot of freebie stuff, but what I love how you said, like, when you invest in yourself, it's a game changer. Like, I know that, like, it requires money sometimes, but it, money has a funny thing. Like, you work out your relationship with money. I'm still going through that too. But, like, it's like
You and me
when
both.
you actually invest in that, there's something that shifts, at least for me, I'll just speak for me, shifts in my mindset,
Mhm.
because it's like, I'm committed. I'm committed to this work. I'm committed to take the action, because you can have all the awareness all day long, but really, when you take awareness to action, that's when you get to transform your life.
Oh, true.
Oh
Oh,
my
if
gosh, right?
you're speaking the truth. Absolutely. Me too. Because I can't tell you how many times I've been like, oh, a free download, free thing. And I have never opened it. I
Oh,
never read it. I never did anything, at all. But the ones that I paid for, like the ones that I got so drawn into what they actually offered, and then I ended up being like, okay, I feel resonated with this. I'm going to go for it. You're right. One way or another, I learned so much that has done nothing but help me to improve my life, improve myself, and then also give back to my own business as well,
yes,
too. Like, and my
exactly.
clients and the people that I get to work with. And it's truly an always evolving, path for you. You're always
Yeah.
evolving, you're always learning, you're always growing. And, this is what I hope to bring right here too is let's have fun with it, people.
Yeah, let's have
And stop stressing about it so much, and like find ways to really enjoy the journey as we make
yeah.
it happen. Like I said, it's okay. Like you do see, and that's one thing I see is the comparison. I hear that all the time. Like,
Mm,
oh, well, she got her, 10K in 90 days. Like, why didn't that happen for me? And I get it. Like, I know how hard it is sometimes to see that somebody's making it happen that just joined, and you've been sitting here working for 6 months with the same thing and reaching out, and nobody, still crickets. Like, I still don't think that means that there's anything wrong with what you're doing. Absolutely. I think that's the problem, is that we what happened for them is their path, and you
is their
just need to
path.
stay focused on yours. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's going to happen. And then, because if sometimes when you show up with that energy like that, and people don't realize the power of our energy, that is
Oh,
something that I feel
absolutely.
like has been something that I have really learned, that I didn't realize in the beginning of my business, the energy that I was showing up with of desperation and
Yes.
nervous and doubt. I had that doubt
Hmm.
in me because I'm like, I was
Yeah.
terrified to do like
Yeah.
lives because, my nickname is Mumbles. So, obviously I've been known to kind of like, I talk really fast, I mumble sometimes, and Lord knows I am terrible with grammar. So there are going to be times I make up words or I just say the wrong thing. It's just
Yeah.
how I am. And for so long people made fun of me for that. I made fun of myself for it. And you know what? I've just gotten to the point where it's like, hey, it is what it is. And most people don't even never really make fun of me like in my professional manner. And I always think a lot of times I have a different work sense and work
Yeah.
voice than
Uh-huh.
anyways than when I do like something like this. I'm kind of a
Yeah.
little bit more loose because it's just us chatting.
Having, yeah.
But when it comes to like business sides, I do have a bit of more of a professionalness with me as well. Have you ever seen
Yeah.
that difference between like your
Hmm.
work voice and then
Hmm.
so
Totally.
I like this because I get a little bit more of a chance to mix the two, where I still
Yeah.
have that way of being like, I can be professional and I can share what needs to be done. I also get to bring me into it.
I love it.
I'm like giddy, like silly. Yes, I'm going to mess up my words sometimes.
Yeah.
So, or you're going to hear my country accent because I'm from a
Yeah.
little girl,
I love it.
I like
I heard that.
I guess yes, I am the brown girl who's like, I always used to say I'm like the white girl with an all year tan. Like that's just how I am. But it's just who I am. It's what I've been. Like, oh, it's awesome. But this is what is so fun about this journey right here.
Yeah.
Getting to know ourselves, getting to enjoy life, getting to meet each other and see that there's so many other people on similar path as us. And just, it's so cool. I
love it. I love how you said just focus on your path because like I always say to my audience, I'm like, look, I get the compare and despair. It's so easy to compare and despair. But it's just like that's their journey, your journey. Like everyone has their own journey. And I love that you brought that up because it's like you can just focus on your journey and focus on you, right? Like focus how you want to show up. And let's have fun, right? Like it's okay. Let's have fun. I'm wearing this sweatshirt that says, "This is how I roll." Stand up. And I saw that. I was like, I'm buying that. And my kids were like, Mom, I think you're too old to wear something like that. I'm like, I ain't too old to wear anything.
I love it. Yes, you let them know.
I'm going to wear it. It's like you get to choose. Do you. Choose your path. Stay to your path. You know, sometimes I know it's such a tendency to look at others, but it's like you can look at others and be inspired versus, to be in despair. Right?
Exactly. Oh, if anything, there you go. Look at them like the evidence. They're proof that it's possible.
Proof.
That is proof that it's possible.
Proof.
So if it can happen for them, then it is definitely going to happen for you. So just keep that faith, keep that perspective and into it, and then just show up with that energy. See what happens.
See what happens.
I know, right? Yes. Exactly. I'm telling you, anybody watching this, if this like really uplifts you like that and you decide to take action and something happens, please leave us a review. Let us know. We want to know because that's what we hope to bring you. Is just like, we want you to be so giddy after this like conversation that you're like, oh my God, I'm going to go take action now. I'm going to go talk to that client that I've been scared of. I'm going to go reach out to this many people or send this email out or make this first live, whatever it is. I want to know, like, let us know what you do.
Yeah. And you can do it, right? You can do it. And you are, I know Kathy Heller says this all the time. You are worthy of it. Like this is about like when we dig down deep, when we can dig down deep, y'all, we don't have to get all serious, but anyways, it's like, it really is coming down to, do you believe in your own worthiness? You are already worthy. You don't have to work for it. I'm just going to let you know. You are already worthy and you are worth it for anything that you want to try and achieve and do, right? Whether it's, how you want to interact with your kids, how you want to be as a mom, like you are so worthy of it. And just like that's where I come back to every day. I was like, no, I'm worthy to show up in this way. I'm worthy to like, say on my post, book a sales call. I'm worthy into, telling other moms like, no, I don't got my shit together for summer. It's okay. It's okay. You are worthy. That's it. Right. And I know that we struggle with that as working moms and moms, that's a really big one. And I feel for all of us. But if there's anything that I want to share with you, it's like, you are worthy. Like if you need someone to remind you that, like, you are totally worthy of anything that you want to do. Right.
Yes. And it is already yours. You just need to walk the path to it. That's all that it's waiting for. It's just waiting for you. And it takes that knowing that you're worthy and that, man, the value you have is you're depriving the world of it. If anything, you get out there and just give it your all. Like I said, this is it. This is the only life you got. Make the best of it. Make the best of it.
We want to see it. We want to see it. Like we want to see it. Your kids want to see it. I think that's the biggest, I don't know, like as a mom, I think about this, like what am I modeling for my kids, right? If I want my kids to, and I have 2 daughters, right? And so like I want to model them to be like brave and bold and courageous and try new things. Well, if I'm not showing that them myself, they're not going to be able to see what's possible. And so it's like, the greatest thing right now, I'm a preteen, which is kind of hard right now, but I'm just being real. But she is like, oh, I wonder what it'd be like to be an entrepreneur. Let me put together, a sticker shop right now. And it's like one of those things. It's like, you never know. Your kids are always watching you. Right. And I'm not saying this to guilt anyone, but it's like, like you choose you and your kids are going to see that.
And which means that they're going to choose them. And that's so
Yes,
important. They're not
exactly.
going to be like the sheep that just follow and it's typical shoulds, like you say. They're going to be somebody who learns that true belief in themselves. And I think that's such an important message, what you're saying. It's not about guilting anybody, but it's truly paying it, like being mindful. Like
Paying
everything
forward.
you do is going to affect your children. Like whether you like it or not, the good and the bad, it's going
Yes,
to affect them.
yes,
And
yes.
it's a hard thing to have on you as a point, but that's part of being a parent. Like it is on you. And you are the role models. You are the examples. And so that is a great thing to see. My son's 15 and I love to see that he's dreaming about, maybe creating his own game someday, being a game designer. So he's understanding the different options he has, that he doesn't have to just go to college and have a career, that if he wanted to start his own business, he could do that. If he wanted, and also he's learning about investing and all this stuff at 15 years old. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like then he gets to see his mom, like that she's deciding to, instead of seeing this mom who's been struggling her whole life, just working to barely get by, like now he sees his mom is believing in herself and loving herself and going out there and taking chances and risk and, just doing it regardless.
That's the life. That is the life lessons, right? It's about the life lessons that you're modeling for your kids.
Yeah.
Right. So take this as inspiration, like, this is like you're modeling what's possible, and your kids are like, "Whoa, that's possible," and
Yeah.
so I mean, yeah.
And anyone out there who's listening, who's just like, I love this conversation. I love with this women. Come reach out to me and Jocelyn. We both are in very similar fields, and we both are happy to help you. If you're a working mom and you want someone to help do that work with you, Jocelyn's your girl. Come reach out and talk to her. This is what we're here for, is to support you on this journey and help you find your way. Because it's already there. Some people just need that nudge and they just need that direction and that guidance. And that's what we're here to do, because we want to see you succeed. Like your success is our success. And that's what we want to see. So, yeah. And by the way, Jocelyn, of course, we're talking about it, but how can people find you if they want to come follow you?
Yeah, so I hang out on LinkedIn at Jocelyn Auyeung Coach, but I'm also on Instagram, which is Jocelyn.Auyeung. I'll spell that Auyeung.
Oh, I'll make sure it's in the show notes too.
Thank you, husband, for the complex last name. But you can also check me out on the podcast, Empower Working Mom Revolution. You can also type that in as a website, empowerworkingmomrevolution.com. I do have a freebie, which is a checklist for moms to get yourself organized each month. And I'm coming out with a new freebie, which is how to set boundaries as a working mom. So that's coming out soon. So that's how you can find me and connect with me. Join my newsletter. I throw a lot of truth bombs and lots of great tips and coaching tools there. So yeah.
Sounds
check me out.
amazing. Yes. And we'll make sure to put all this in the show notes for anybody listening to have it easy. Click and find you for sure. Because anyone would be lucky to follow you. It's been truly a delight having you on the show today. I cannot thank you enough.
This is so fun.
You have been so much fun. Your energy is great. The conversation's been amazing. Like, this is what I do this for right here. I love it. And thank you so much for joining me today.
You're so welcome. Thank you again for having me.
Of course.
Absolutely loved having Jocelyn on the show. Here are some key takeaways. As a working mom, you can manage your responsibilities with confidence and satisfaction. It's possible to overcome overwhelm and stress so you can be present with your kids and truly love your life. If you're facing challenges like infertility or other personal struggles, know that resilience is key. Jocelyn's journey through 6 years of infertility and a miscarriage highlights the importance of staying strong and taking care of your mental health. It's crucial to prioritize self-care even when life gets tough. Honor your mental health during difficult times. Remember, taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary for your well-being. Life as a working mom can be hectic, but try to focus on the present moment. Whether you're spending time with your kids or working on your career, being present can help you enjoy life more and reduce feelings of guilt and overwhelm. You don't have to be perfect. It's okay if everything doesn't get done perfectly or on time. Focus on what's most important in the moment and let go of the pressure to do it all at once. Whether you choose to be a working mom or need to work due to circumstances, embrace your choices. You can find fulfillment in your career while balancing family life. At the end of the day, Focus on what truly matters to you, whether it's your family, your career, or your personal goals. Prioritize those and let go of unnecessary stress. You have the power to create a fulfilling and balanced life. Jocelyn's story is a testament to the strength and resilience within you. If you want to connect and learn more about Jocelyn, her links are in the show notes. Lastly, please subscribe to this podcast and leave me a review or 5-star rating so we can help reach as many moms out there who need to be uplifted and supported. If you know anyone who would be impacted or enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it. I can't thank you all enough for tuning in and joining me on this journey together. If you need any support as a life coach, I can help you. Feel free to visit me at marydibblecoaching.com to learn more about my services. Let's make the most of this one life we have and create something beautiful together. Until next time, much love.